Oh, I'm here with the founder and CEO of Spiking, Clemen Chiang. So, welcome to this call, Clemen. Thanks for coming on with me. It's going to be really interesting to have a chat with you about spiking today. So, welcome to the call. Thanks for joining us. Could you please start us off with maybe a bit of an introduction about yourself and the company?
And Brian, thanks for having me in this program. I'd like to share with you a little bit background about myself. First of all, I have invested in the stock market for over 15 years.
Wow.
And in fact, the journey for me as a stock investor, I start off deploying a fundamental analysis whereby we look at price ratios to determine the value of a company so that we can buy at a cheap price. And subsequently, I move on to technical analysis. I look at price patterns of candlesticks, ranging from double top, double bottom, price stochastics, moving averages, and so on. And at the end of the day, I found out as a stock investor is this: you may have the best strategy, but if you don't overcome your own fear and greed, you still get killed in the market.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's where,
interesting.
that's where I started studying the thesis of investing on the shoulders of giants so that perhaps I can look further.
Mm.
And these giants really power up my psychology and I found it extremely useful. And that's what I hope to share with you today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I'm a copywriter by trade, as you know. So the shoulders of giants are something that I stand on as well when I learn copywriting. So let's talk about the Spiking app, which is really interesting to me. You've just launched a new version of that for iOS. Can you tell me what's good about the new version of the app?
Oh, this new version is really cool. In fact, we launched the app first time last year in April 2016. And through the various feedback from our users, we have taken their feedback very seriously and we improve on the new version. So right in front of you, you're looking at the latest Spiking iOS app. And based on the feedback from our users is this: we have enhanced the user experience in the interface. So for example, over here, you can see it's really cool. You can swipe left, swipe right, and
Oh,
there are many
awesome.
other tools for you to play along with. Second thing is we power up the speed of loading, and this is so important because time is crucial to the stock investor. So let me demonstrate to you how fast the app is right now. You're looking at the news feed, and from the news feed, if you scroll up, you start loading up the different news feed from the users as well as the companies that you're following. Can you see how fast that is, Brian?
Yeah,
This
I can.
really very powerful stuff from an engineering perspective. And the third thing we introduce is investing. So, for example, if you look at a company and you feel that this is a great company, for example, right over here, if you like it, you can click on this button called Invest, and you can treat it like your very own personal trading diary. And most importantly, we have introduced this function on the bottom left that is known as the best stocks, which literally help our users to save a lot of time. We share with you what are the best stocks if you want to invest today.
Well, so you've made quite a raft of improvements from the old app, all of that stuff.
Oh yes, there's a lot of engineering work behind, and of course it's not just myself. Together with the Spiking team, we work really hard, taking every single feedback from our users. We also meet up with our users through different occasions as well as the workshops that we organize, and we take their feedback very seriously. And that is where the current new version, I think some of our users have already wrote into us,
Yeah.
thank us for the improved version.
Awesome. So much work has obviously gone into this, and obviously a long journey that you've come down. How did you get started helping people to invest smarter? Sorry, and what led you to become an expert in this field?
I don't think you can call me an expert. However, I do have over 15 years of experience investing in the stock market.
Wow.
And along the years, I've tried out literally every single tricks of the trade found in almost 200 different stock investing books out there. And what I discovered at the end of the day is it's all about your own psychology. You can have the best strategy, best idea out there, you can't overcome your own psychology of fear and greed, you still get slaughtered in the market. So we've gone through quite a number of different investing theses. The basic ones out there are fundamental analysis. Some of them call it value investing. You want to buy stocks at a cheap price. Then the question is, how cheap is cheap? And you can have a stock that crashed today, and do you really want to go in because it's really cheap? So there are many things that you need to look at. Second one is technical analysis. Some people out there call it the witchcraft because it's time lagging. Things has happened and those events are reflected on the stock chart. And of course, with all due respect, there are many good technicians out there in the marketplace. And that's something you need to ask yourself as an individual. Is that something you want to keep looking at the stock charts to determine your investing decision? Now, what I found for myself is this. I got so passionate about investing 15 years ago because I love to study great companies. Now, I want to know how the companies are being built, what are the products they've created that have impacted the lives of consumers, and how they go about building their branding. And all this are found in great public listed companies. And that's how I got started. And from there, I translate that whole passion about understanding companies to understanding the art of investing. And today, I think I've gone through several filtering process and paid a lot of expensive lessons as well, learning about the stock market. I think I can comfortably sleep at night today for the investment I made in the market. And that is the best joy you can get out of investing.
Yeah. It's obviously really comes across too. So if people are looking to invest more smartly in general, give me a top 3 things that they should know to invest smarter.
I think the first thing is you got to know who you are as an investor or as a person. Are you a conservative investor versus an aggressive investor? For example, are you willing to suffer a 50% drop in the stock price? Or just a drop of 5% will drive you nuts. So you got to know about the innate characteristics of your own personality. Yeah. Second one is, what is the instrument do you want to invest in? There are many instruments out there, and the most common one, starting for most of us here today, is we start off by investing in properties, where you have a shelter over your head. Yeah. But that's a big investment in terms of cash outlay. Then you have to ask, what is the next most liquid instrument available today in the world, whereby you can buy, sell really quickly and profit from a price move? I found that to be in the stock market, where there are many willing buyers and sellers ready to transact with you. In contrast to properties you want to sell, no one may want to buy from you today. Yeah. Third thing is a question of where and timing. Which market do you want to invest in will determine the timing of exposure. For example, in the US market, you expect fast-moving stocks to take place within 1 or 2 years, and you can hit your profit return target. But in Asian market, whereby the market is much less liquid, it'll probably take a longer time to get the same return.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting, actually. Those 3 great points, for me and for a lot of people, it's interesting you mentioned property investing, because I have property back home in Australia, and most people do that, just to get started on some kind of wealth building. How long does it take to really get good at building wealth and investing in stock market in particular?
It's a very good question, and I want to dive in straight. It is not really a question about quantity of time, but rather the quality of time you spend studying the art of investing. Now, for me, it took me over 15 years to circle and cycle back to the core questions dealing with my own fear and greed. Yeah. What must I do today to overcome those emotions of fear and greed so that I have a better chance in making good money? Now, what I found out is this. Today, you can shorten that learning curve if you start off by using the spiking app. It's really the essence of everything I know about the market. We translate that into a product so that we can help many users out there. Basically, we show you the key information that you will need to get started. From there, you can dive deeper to gain more knowledge as well as expand your circle of friends to stay in touch together with you in the stock market.
Interesting. I have a good circle of friends in my industry who help me to keep in touch with what's working now as well. So that's a really good point about the app. What about other exchanges? What about people in different financial positions? Does this work for any exchange or any financial position?
Absolutely. In our investment thesis, we believe in three big giants. Let's break them down. Yeah. There are three groups of them. We call them the blue whales, the millionaires, and the billionaires. And we define by the amount of money they put into the stock market, as well as the influence that they can exert over a public listed company. So we call them, basically, these are groups of sophisticated investors who know much more stuff than the ordinary folks out there. Thus, it is as simple as understanding what drives these sophisticated investors to buy certain stocks. And in relative proportion, you can invest alongside with them. So that is the beauty of investing.
Yeah, really interesting. Does it take a lot of experience? How much experience does a person need to invest with spiking?
In fact, you need zero experience to get started. Very soon, we'll be introducing a step-by-step guide within the app to take you through the journey of investing, and then we supplement further with live notifications to alert you of any trending stocks. You can get started right off.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds great, especially for me, who's a novice in investing. It sounds like I can really jump in and have some success with this thing. What about other real life examples from people? What feedback from your customers?
When we launched our app in April 2016 last year, we received so many feedback from our users, and one particular group of them is known as the remisiers. Now, remisiers are individuals who help their customers to recommend stocks to buy on an advisory role. They found our app so useful that they notified and informed all their customers to download the Spiking app too.
Oh, cool.
And why? Because they are able to use the Spiking app to help their customers make money. And I believe that's the best testimonial from our users.
That's it. That's a really interesting case study. What about the other side? What are some of the problems that people have in investing in stocks?
I think there are three major key problems that individuals face in the stock market. Now, the first one, I call it trust. This is a major concern because most people cannot tell the difference between real news versus fake news. And there's so much going on out there because they are just surrounded by gossip, rumors, speculation. In fact, most of the forums or investing groups out there amplify the problem we are trying to solve. Yeah. What do I mean by that? If someone tells you in the forum that he has invested 1 million shares of Google, how do you know that is real? How do you verify that there's some trust in that statement? So this is where spiking comes in. We offered verified social trading, and what we do is this: we show you if a certain sophisticated investor is buying certain stocks. We stand by our verification. We already cut out the noise for you, and that is an actual investment made by the individual. You don't have to second guess anymore. So first one is trust. Second one is information overload. There's just too much information out there, especially for a newbie. And this is a common problem whereby the newbie gets flooded with all kinds of information and ideas of investing, and they get confused. So Spiking steps in here to offer a step-by-step guide to understanding good companies. We show you the different spikes that will cause a company stock price to move. We also present the data from stock chart to fundamental information about the company, as well as top and substantial shareholders who can influence the stock price. And the third one is selection. There are many public listed companies out there in the stock market. Now, how do you know which one are the good stocks to find them? And in fact, humanly, it's almost impossible. There's just too many things to study within a short duration of a trading day. Again, spiking helps our users to determine the best stocks. I showed you earlier on, Brian, we have this particular tool right at the bottom left corner. Known as best stocks. We help our users to save time because based on an algorithm, we're able to determine the best stocks for you to invest today.
Well, that's really interesting, very powerful as well. It takes all the guesswork out of it, and it's very relevant what you talk about, information overload and fake news. Because this is where the human psychology comes into it. When we read something that agrees with our beliefs, if we believe that Google is a good stock, and we read online that someone's bought 1 million shares, we want to believe that. And that's our first reaction, whether it's true or not. It's the same works with, this is why fake news works, because it taps into our desire to believe. So the problem with that is exactly as you say, you don't know what's true and what's not. So it's really cool that the spiking app takes all that guesswork out of it. So it's really awesome. In fact, it sounds, it sounds ideal that anyone that wants to invest should actually use this app. So imagine that right now, we've got I've got the app installed on my phone, but maybe I haven't really used it yet. Maybe I don't have much experience in investing, or I'm not quite sure what to do next. What should I do now that I've got the app installed on my phone?
Very good question, Brian. And first thing what we want to share with you is this. Our navigation is guided from left to right. Start off by the bottom. There are 5 major buttons. First one is called Best Stocks. And let me give you a quick introduction about Best Stocks. So over here, we are looking at this particular company, and we show you the spikes, 3 spikes that will trigger the stock price to move in the next few days. So as you are looking at it, you may like to look at the next company. You just swipe left, or you can just swipe right. Up to you. But if you like this particular company, just click on it, and there you go. We present to you the stock chart. Next, we show you the fundamental information related to the company. And as we move down, we show you the key spikes that will cause the stock price to move. For example, in this particular company, they dish out the last dividend. They also have social news covered about them. And Blue Whale has recently made an investment into this particular company. As you move down, you will see the top shareholders, and you will also see the buy-sell transactions by the sophisticated investor. And this is really powerful stuff over here. As you scroll down, we also show you the recent announcement made by the company, and as well as the news and social news surrounding this company. The second button on the footer is Investors. This is the one that our users love the most, whereby on a live transaction basis, anytime a sophisticated investor buy or sell shares in the market, we send you the information right off within this app. And this is the beauty of it. You can follow anyone from a sophisticated investor as well as a public company, and we'll notify you right off when there's any transaction made by these individuals or companies. Third one is Newsfeed. So for Newsfeed is basically you invite your friends to join you in the app as well, and if your friends are buying a particular company, straight off we'll notify you. So you really keep in track, cool. Not just with the sophisticated investors, the public companies, as well as your own network of friends, and this is really powerful. Fourth function is known as Price Alert. Now, Price Alert, we want to notify you when a price crosses a certain trigger point. But what price to set is a key question that most investors are asking. And our advice to our users is this: set a price always below that of a sophisticated investor. Now, if you can buy cheaper than them, do you know what does that do to your psychology? It's a very powerful tool right here. And the last button is your profile, whereby you can look at your own trading diary. How many stocks have you invested so far? Are you making money? and that you can practice. And one of the exciting upcoming feature that we are going to introduce very soon, Brian, is this. We're going to introduce live trading within the app, whereby you can fire off the trades within the app to reduce the friction of going to different browsers, different tools, and you can just get started right off in investing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So you don't even have to leave the app to actually make the investments.
That's correct, Brian.
Yeah. So let's say I use all that and I start getting some results. How do I take things to the next level? How do I get faster results now? How do I use the app to speed things up aside from the base level?
Yes, very good question, Brian. So over here we have the best stocks. There's some limitation on the best stocks. Every day we show you about 5 best stocks, and thereafter our timer will kick in.
Yeah.
We'll encourage you. You can either buy a 1-day pass and you can see all the best stocks for that day, or you can go for the either 1-month subscription, 6-month subscription, or 12-month subscription. And the most value you can get out of this in-app purchase is go for the 12-month subscription. It's heavily discounted, and for that one entire year, you're going to learn so much about investing using the Spiking app.
So that would be 12 months of unlimited use of the app, no timers, no restrictions or anything?
Yes, no restriction in the number of best stocks that you can see on a per day basis, as well as we share with you over 250 financial ratios. You want to get serious? Let's get into the numbers. So these financial ratios are exampled over the past 3 years for each public listed company, and that's where you dive deeper to understand more. So not to worry, for most of the newbies, you can easily get started using the Spiking app, and we progressively uplift your learning curve together with us.
Yeah, but when you want to go to the next level, you want to see those ratios, for example, you need to buy one of the passes.
As long as you buy any of the monthly passes from 1 month, 6 months, or 12 months, you get access to the financial ratios.
Excellent. Yeah, so you can go as little as 1 month and longer than that. So that's cool. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So as Clemen said, just go into the app now and take a look around, start using it, and start looking at the monthly passes as well, even a day pass. All right. Thanks for joining me on this call, Clemen. It's been very informative. The new version of the app looks absolutely awesome, and the power within those monthly passes looks really like the thing that going to take anyone to the next level. So thanks very much for joining us. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the app.
Thank you very much, Brian, for having me. Spiking your freedom.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.